Hi, I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And as a business consultant and life coach, I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So if you always wanted to write a book, but you just haven't seemed to get started, or you always wanted to 10x that business that you already have, expand it to the next level, you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't done it? Well, I've already purchased all the courses, read all the books, the Tony Robbins, all sorts. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and credits toward a doctorate. I've sat and met celebrities and done the networking. And what I realized is what I really needed was a mastermind group of people working toward my project, my business, or my endeavor. So what I've done is met with coaches and met with experts and put them together to work on your project. So join us today for our mastermind networking group. I'll see you there. Click the link below and join us. Hello and welcome to the Ask Arlene Show. It's so a pleasure to be with you again. Today we have a very exciting show for you because I have a special guest for you. The lady's name is Miss Yvonne Hadley. She is a business owner extraordinaire. She is a minister that has ministered in several states throughout our country. She is a powerhouse, guys. But I want to let those of you who don't know, I am the host of the show. I'm Arlene. I am a life coach, but I specialize in the area of momentum, which means that I help you to move forward in that business project or endeavor, and also in terms of peak performance. So if you're already working hard and making things happen, but you want to go even further and you need a peak performance coach, we are here to help you. Okay, so today the show is called Overcoming Fear and Getting Unstuck and Achieving the Goals that you truly desire and living your best life. So how do we do that? Many of us have encountered challenges. Many of us have gone through areas of difficulty. And the idea is that even though everyone has gone through difficulties, some of us have risen above the difficulties and risen above the deep waters and still accomplished great things. And so many of us who are not accomplishing our dreams and our goals and our visions are thinking, well, you know, it's because I have these challenges. But guess what? Everybody has challenges. And I believe that if I stopped people arbitrarily in the street and I asked them, what's your story? Everybody could give me a story of challenge, of difficulty. Some of us move on and move forward and become victorious, and others of us do not. So today, the young lady that I have with me is the real deal. She has birthed 5 children on her own, and she has taken care of 8 children. I mean, I don't mean she has, supported them financially. I mean, she's brought them into her home and raised them like her own children. And this young lady has gone through divorce. She's gone through a victorious marriage of 30 years. So first they were together for 5 years. Then they got divorced. But in between there, they were married for 30 years, guys. And they had their first child at 19. So many of you think, oh, well, if the person has a teenage pregnancy, then they can't go on to be, have a successful marriage. Well, she did. And she's a minister in ministry, leading people from the darkness into the light. And I'm one of the people whose lives she's touched. And so as I say on the show, we only share with you people who are the tried and true, the real deal. And so this lady is one of those people who is the real deal. And I'm very excited to introduce her to you. And her name again is Yvonne Hadley of Yvonne Hadley Inc. She's a marketing guru. Hello, Yvonne. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, it's great to be with you today. How are you in the sunny skies of Florida?
Doing good so far. I'm enjoying the weather. I just hope it stays right about where it is now and it doesn't get any hotter.
It's getting better here. It was really, really cold, but now it's getting better. So I'm starting to feel a little bit better because, you know, I'm a person who loves the summer and the sunshine.
Oh yeah. Well, I love both. But if I rather have the sunshine than the cold, the ice, the snow, no, I don't want that.
Okay, so let's get into it. Yvonne, you are somebody that I admire greatly. And one of the reasons why I admire you greatly is because you have come through struggle and you have come through pain and you have overcome it all. But not only do you handle just your own, but you are somebody through your ministry that has absorbed a lot of other people's challenges as well. And you're able to help people get over the hump. And so many of the people who listen to the show are listening, I believe, in order to find out how they can move forward and live the best version of their lives. So start me off from the beginning. Did you know when you first started and you met your husband that you guys were going to live happily for 35 years?
I was hoping it was going to be more than 35 years. When I first met him, I said, oh, that's my husband. I'm going to marry him. And that I was in high school. At that time, my sister thought I was crazy. My friend thought I was crazy. But lo and behold, going through school, I wound up with the man. So we dated, I don't know how many years because I left and gone off to college and he went to a different college in another state, but we stayed together. So when we got back home, I found myself, I was pregnant. So then we started talking about marriage and I said, no, I'm not ready to be married. So after my second son, after listening to my mom and listening to him, I went, okay, let's get married. So we
So wait a minute.
married.
Having been a parent to 8 children, and most of them are adult people right now,
Yes.
and having had to give advice all along the way, do you feel like it's safe to say that it's a good idea to get married when you're very young and it's a young love and it's a young relationship? Or do you feel like, no, it's better to wait a longer time till you're older, you're more mature, you're more settled in your career, and you know what your goals are and you know what you want?
That's a tough question because you do have young people that are really already structured, already have goals set, know what they want, and they go for it. And then on the other hand, you do still have some that are very immature. They haven't been trained. They haven't been taught. They haven't gone through anything in their lives. So they may not know. So yeah, those are the ones I suggest. Set your goals, go for it, wait a while before marriage and find out where your footing is and get rooted and grounded. The ones that are already come out of high school, teenagers, rooted and grounded, those are the ones that have already set goals, established themselves in some kind of way, and have a support system to encourage them on. So it does vary the situation with the individuals. So my
Okay,
suggestion
so
is
hold on. I know you have a daughter who also did the same thing like you. She married very young and she's been married for years and years, and it's also been very successful. On that journey to success, I talk about how we need to overcome our fears and get unstuck. But the number one area, regardless of the field that you're in, that's going to impact your life more than anything else is who you marry. You can be at the top of your career professionally, especially for women, professionally, having gone to the great colleges and had the great title in terms of your positioning, but then you marry the wrong person and it can truly be disastrous to your career and to your life and to the lives of your kids. So I really believe like that this area is the number one area regarding how your life turns out. So you having had success and having raised several kids who are also successfully married, I really want you to stretch and tell me, if you had a choice, which way would you go?
I would have gone the same route. The
Okay.
reason I
All
say
right.
that is because there are things in our life we have to go through. We've already been destined for. We have to go through those things in our lives because what we go through is not just for ourselves, although we're the ones going through the pain, we're the ones suffering. It's for other people as well. So although I've gone through that, I'm standing strong. I'm able to talk to other young women or other older women about what I've experienced, how I've been brought out because of my foundation. And that may be a seed to help them overcome where they are now, or what they are, what they've been through, or what they're going to go through. So no,
Okay.
I wouldn't change anything about what I've gone through.
Okay. And I guess there's a gentleman by the name of Grant Cardone who's a huge business success. And he would agree with you. He said that he was 50 years old plus before he got married. And he said the reason why he waited was because he knew he wasn't mature enough. And he wanted to have a successful business first before he took on a partner. And the life that they live now, the way that they're able to raise their kids, is so much more advanced than it would have been had he gotten married early on, because he's been married to his business. And another area that he said was very important when he was getting married is that the person who he married supported his business. Because for
Exactly.
years and years, his business was his wife. His
Hmm.
business was of paramount importance. So to get married now, that person had to support the business and want to be a part. And the woman who's his wife now works within the business, and they're both successful. So he would agree with you. It depends.
That's a balance, yes. And that's what I like, that balance.
Okay, so there's no magic pill. The secret is it depends on where you are in your journey.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. So if the right person comes and you're only 19, jump on it.
No, well, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You have to know where you are. You're rooted, you're grounded, you're stable, you've met your goals, and if not, it's like definitely don't. Definitely don't. If it's not part of your destiny, do not do that. I suggest waiting as well and
Okay,
moving
so you
forward.
have 8 children and you've raised them all successfully.
Yeah,
Everybody is a professional in terms of, making their way in the world. Nobody's in jail. Nobody's, behind bars. Everybody is successful. And that's an accomplishment these days because there's so many things that are going on. How do you advise your young people now who are just coming up in terms of marriage so that they can be successful and have 30-odd years of marriage too?
I pretty much tell them that they have to really know the person, have a relationship with the person, understand who that person is. Do they benefit? Do they match where you are? Do they enhance your life? Do they encourage you? Are they someone that's going to change as soon as you say I do? Know that
Well, how do
person.
you know that? How do you know that they're going to change or not change?
Well, honestly, you really don't, but there are questions, and you have to be vigilant about paying attention to the signs of what is taking place prior to, because a person's actions can tell you a lot. They may not say it, but their actions will tell you a lot. And I know that from experience. Lots.
That's interesting that you say the person's actions will tell you a lot, because there's so many people who get married and enter into this wonderful union, and then a couple of years later they say, oh, I should never have married them. I heard Yolanda Adams, who's a great gospel singer, who, very spiritual person. She said that when she was getting married on her wedding day, she knew it came to her that she shouldn't marry this guy, but she was already walking down the aisle and all the guests were there and her family was there, and she was too embarrassed to stop it. And then that relationship was a violent relationship. He, was abusing her. So she realized she shouldn't have done it. But then there's also another lady that I know of who said that on her wedding day, she was absolutely content. She had no element of nervousness at all. And I said, I thought everybody gets nervous on their wedding day, the men and the women. And she said, no, I knew exactly who I was marrying. And I was so impressed. So tell us, what do you say in terms of that? Were you nervous? Did you know that you were who you were marrying, so you weren't nervous? Or do you believe that everybody gets nervous, regardless of whether it's, going to be a prosperous, successful marriage or not?
It depends on the individual, because originally when I first got married, like I said, I did not want to, but because we had already had 2 children, and I believed that spiritually I was being dealt with, okay, marry this man. And then I had my mom hounding me. I went ahead and I got married. But even with that, I think I was still kind of on the scared side, because I didn't know what to expect in this marriage.
And you were very young.
Pardon me?
You were very young.
Exactly. And I felt like this was the man that I wanted to marry, because I didn't see any other man in my life.
Okay.
I wasn't looking for any other man. So I went ahead and we married. We were happy. So I thought, after 30 some years. I laugh and joke about it now, because it was a challenge and it was a growth spurt in my life. But I believe that there are people who they've actually experienced something. So no, they're not going to be upset. They're not going to be angry. They're not angry. I'm sorry. They're not going to be fearful on their wedding day. And then there are others that are going to be shaking in their boots, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I going to know this person?
It still turns out to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect in our eyes. Let's put it that way.
So if you could give us one of the secrets that you give your kids in terms of what makes a good one, what would you say?
And make sure that they're rooted and grounded and have a firm belief in God. And that's where my children were raised on. That's what I was raised on. So if they focus on that and they look at that, then they're on a road to moving forward. But they do have to pay attention. I can't do it for them. They have to look at the signs and know the signs. And I can only share when they ask questions.
So the secret is pay attention.
Oh, definitely pay attention.
Secret to marriage, pay attention. Okay.
It's like you take your eyes off the prize, you can be swayed.
That is so spiritual of an answer. Like, you don't even know.
Yeah.
That was straight from God, wasn't it?
You better believe it was.
That's right. That's right. If you're not paying attention, guys, and you're taking your eyes off the ball, doing something else, then the likelihood of you having that successful marriage is going to be reduced. And remember what I said, I'm a coach, a life coach, business consultant. I'm helping you to move forward in your business project or endeavor. But if your relationship is off, it's going to be very hard for you to move forward, because there's really no one that impacts you more than your significant other. And if you're trying to move in one direction and the person who's with you is going in an alternate direction, then it's going to be very hard for you to move forward. It's already a challenge to move forward and be extremely successful, which is why you need a coach to come alongside you and support you. But if the partner, the person that's the closest to you, is also pulling you in an opposite or alternate direction, then how can you be successful? Everything has to be going in the same direction, and they say a three-stranded cord is not easily broken. But if the strands are all over the place, I mean,
that's true.
How can you really move forward? So I know that you've walked a lot of people through their challenges and through their grief. How do you help people to overcome their fears and overcome their grief at times?
Well, it varies on the individual and what they're actually going through. But I focus in on what the foundation is of the problem. I let them share. I ask them questions about what got them there. What do you think is going to help you to get out of that area? How can I help with what I've gone through in order to help you be able to walk through this? It's various different questions, and it does fluctuate depending on the individual, but you
Okay.
do want to spend time with that person, learning who they are, what they've gone through, to be able to answer questions for them.
Wow. So, before the real meat and potatoes of the show, I want to get into, because we only have a few minutes left, ironically, you went through this marriage. It was a beautiful marriage for 30 something years. And like I said, you were with him for maybe 5 years. So 35 years together, blissful, 5 birthed children, biological children together, 3 additional children that you guys have raised, so 8 kids. And then after this just amazing whirlwind of life, then you had a challenge in the marriage. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I don't know exactly what was going on with him. I chalked it up as midlife crisis after I found out what happened.
Okay.
Um,
And that's like when men reach about 55?
well, I think
50?
he was more like 50.
He's more like
Yeah,
50.
he
Okay.
was more like 50. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, around 50.
I've heard
Um,
of it. That's when they get the sports car and they got to get the new girl. And okay, so
yeah,
around 50.
yeah, but
And
he
you
didn't
were
get this.
paying attention. And because you were paying attention, you saw the signs when things changed, when things shifted. And
Yeah,
so you weren't left in the dark, which is one of the secrets that we've got to pay attention. I think that's just really key. The book that I've written is called How to Overcome Fear and Get Unstuck. And secret number 1 of how to overcome fear, get unstuck, and live your best life is to be clear, to have clarity. In order to have clarity, you've got to pay attention. You got to keep
yeah,
your eyes on the ball. So you saw that his regular order
yeah,
of things changed. And
yes.
so you found out that he was actually cheating with somebody else.
Exactly. And after finding out, again, going through that process, it was I cannot tell you how many different emotions, every emotion that you can think exists, I went through it. And it didn't last for a couple of days. It lasted for a couple of years. So
But
I
the
had,
crazy thing about it is this adulterous situation led to a child. And that's like not the ideal, but it has happened. It happens. But the thing that was really amazing is that you took the child in.
yes, I
Okay.
did.
Tell us about that.
And I believe that, first of all, the child had no, um, interest in being in the midst of all that garbage. He didn't ask for any of the situation.
Right.
So my heart went out for the child. The adults, they
Yeah.
were on their own. Okay. So my heart went out for the child. So I didn't want that separation between him and his siblings. I wanted him to be able to be around his siblings, get to know his siblings. And not only that, me to get to know the child as well. And his name for me, even to this day, when I talk to him, is Blue Mommy. And
Aww.
I asked him, I said, why do you call me Blue Mommy? Blue is his favorite color.
Oh, that's amazing. That is
So,
amazing. Your story is a story of forgiveness, a story of
yes,
love. You stayed with the gentleman despite the
yes,
situation. You helped him to raise that child.
yes.
It's just amazing. Every time I think about your story, I think of forgiveness, I think of love. And I'm like, how does someone have that level of love where they can just forgive all?
It took some doing because forgiveness was not at the top of the list at the time. But there
Well,
were
yet
some,
you did it. And so I believe that's one of the reasons why you are now as successful as you have been. Your husband has since passed away and
yes,
moved on, transitioned, but you're as successful now as you've ever been with your business. And you're doing marketing and you're, out there in the world, you're gaining clients, and you actually tell us what you do.
I do create graphic design. I also am a virtual assistant. I do different types of working with different types of companies, like a publishing company. I work with her here where I live. And even with that, that's a ministry within itself on top of everything else. I love doing that. It sets me free. I'm happy. I get to travel to different places and do different things. So that right there is not a job for me. It's a joy. So,
and I think in closing, that's really the story. That is really the message of your life that I see. You are a woman who has forgiven. You've lived your life in order, always doing the right thing, even though other people don't necessarily always do the right thing. And so I think that's one of the secrets to overcoming fear, getting unstuck, and living your best life.
amen
You,
to that.
you.
That's
Okay? And in the end, everything will work out. Everything will work in your favor because you have stood the test of time and been who you are supposed to be. So regardless of your goal, your dream, your vision, get on it. And if people don't support you in it, people don't back you up in it, you stay focused and stay the course, just like Yvonne Hadley stayed the course. And now she's living in a beautiful area by the water in the sunshine. I love to bring these women on because she's doing exactly what she always wanted to do. And so I say to you, please continue to watch our show, subscribe to the Ask Arlene Show, where you can hear more stories of amazing women and men who are doing great things, overcoming their fears, getting unstuck, living their best lives. And we want you to contact us as well so that we can help you to move forward in that business project or endeavor. Once again, I'm Arlene McLaren. I'm a life coach, a business consultant, and we'd love to hear from you so that we can help you with your project. And like I said, if the coach for you is not me, there's a multiplicity of coaches that we have within our group. And so we'd love to hear from you so that we can help you to do just exactly what you need to do. And so I'd like to thank all of those that helped us with the show today. I'd like to thank Amel and William and Rahman and you, our listeners, because without you, we would have no show. Thank you so much and have a great day. See you next week at 6:30, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Ooh. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good. What would you say if I told you the people you missing won't call you again? What would you say if I told you the people around you don't stick to the end? Newer vibes and different faces. Life is all in different phases. How can you fly away if the people around you still got you in cages? You need empire, get the empire.